Hello, and welcome to the Impact Podcast, where real women talk about real life and we have real fun while creating a winning life team in real time. Change the people you associate with and you can change your life. On our podcast, we are going to show you how. We're going to help you change your life and have fun while you're doing it. Now we're going to shift focus. We're going to go to part 2 of the coronavirus. So we know that everybody out there is struggling in some way, and we know everybody out there is succeeding in ways. But one of the things I have been really fascinated with is watching how other people are handling the coronavirus pandemic. And right now, we want to shine a spotlight on people that we have been observing during the coronavirus pandemic that we want to give a shout out to. So, who are some people, Robin, that you've been noticing on social media or maybe you've been interacting with virtually that you just want to say, I'm impressed with you?
2 people come to mind in our social circle and professional circle. Nikki Finyawatana of Asian Mint Restaurant.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
I'm telling you what, it is hard times for restaurant owners, but she has come up with a really creative way beyond curbside ordering and pickup. She is doing Chef Mint. It's so cool, where she's pre-packaging and vacuum sealing all the ingredients that you can take home and cook. She's included a recipe card with that. I mean, that is one creative entrepreneur.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, she's amazing.
She inspires me. Anyway, I probably don't get a chance to tell her enough, but man, business props to her.
Well, not only is she an incredible businesswoman, because she is, you know, we're a part of eWoman Network. She actually was one of the made it to 1 million members in eWoman Network, because that's the mission of eWoman Network, is to help 1 million of our members become millionaires. And I always say that even if that's not your specific goal, if you associate with people that is their goal, you know, all ships rise with the tide. And I think we should order Asian Mint to go, obviously, to pick up after we're done with this. So Nikki will come see you. But it makes me think of another one of our members here locally who owns the biscuit bar, Janie Burkett.
Thank you. Right.
You know, Janie Burkett. And one of the things that Janie did, who is also a made it to 1 million, but one of the things that she did was when the schools shut down at the very beginning, she and the biscuit bar, they were providing school lunches for the kids, because you know, some of these kids, that's where they eat is school. That
may be the only place they get 2 decent meals.
That's
a day.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so, you know, she was bringing in, and I'm pretty sure you can still go online and you can donate to that fund if you're interested in doing things like that. But I'm going to say here, there's a couple of people on social media. One is Jeff Mudd. Okay. Now, Jeff Mudd, you got to look him up. Okay. I went to college with him, and he is a nut. He's hysterical. He has got such a dry sense of humor. And you've got to look at his Facebook page, Jeff, Jeff Mudd, Mudd. He has just got some really hysterical things, and I'm gonna look at some of the things that he says and share with you in just a minute, because I like humor.
I know, right?
I'm really, really funny. I'm telling you, I think I'm really funny, but I'm attracted.
Oh, I think you're funny too.
I'm attracted to humor. I'm attracted to fun. I mean, the more silly and outrageous and crazy and funny. I mean, my son Brady Brown, he is a riot, you know.
Your kids in general are really funny.
I was telling Robin that right when I pulled up, you know, my son Brady called me and said, "Mom, I just finished my drug test." You know, he was getting drug screened. He's going to get a job with CBS up in Salt Lake City, And I said, well, Brady, I know you passed the drug test because you don't do drugs. And he said, I don't have a budget for drugs.
I can't afford it.
Can't afford it, But so I like that humor. And while I'm pulling up some of these things, tell me some of the other people that you're just amazed at how they're making lemonade out of lemons.
We just cited 2 people in our communities for sure. I really like music. And so I'm enjoying the power of musicians getting together online and doing things. My brother is involved in a Facebook group. It's probably an Instagram group also of quarantine musicians. I can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry, Rob. But I'm really enjoying watching that. It has over 2,000 followers and members right now, following musicians from different local scenes. That's in a grassroots way, which is cool. Very cool, in fact. And then I'm following musicians in a more national way that are doing the same thing with hashtags. We're all in this together.
Right.
I'm loving DJ D Nice.
Oh, I haven't seen him.
My sister turned me on to him.
I gotta look.
I saw him on Entertainment Tonight last night, and I'm following him on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm also following him on Spotify. All of his Spotify playlists. So, I love dance music.
And what we'll do is we will put all of these people that we're talking about, whether it's individuals, whether it's persons, we're gonna businesses and everything. We'll put it in because I love it how Garth Brooks and his wife, is it Trisha Yearwood?
Yeah,
I loved it how they did that.
They're doing a Monday night thing.
Is it every Monday night?
Yeah. And I think they've changed the angle on it. They have a podcast, The Conversation with the G Conversation. I can't remember. This is bad. But yeah, they've stepped it up a notch to include more music.
Right. Well, and when you said The Conversation, that made me think of Tammy Kling. And
yes,
Tammy Kling is here local. She is she's a business owner. Incredible person. And one of the things that she's been doing is she's a master. Leaders provide vision. They provide structure, they provide consistency, they provide ideas. She's a leader. And she's a leader here, not just locally in the Dallas area, but she's a leader around the world. She helps all the way around the world. She's got an event that she does, The Conversation, but she is constantly pulling us together in her community. And we got to say thank you, Tammy Kling, for all that you do. Both Robin and I, of course, know Tammy, but she is pulling together speakers and authors because she helps people write books, and she's helping me write my book. And that's one of the things that she's keeping that positivity and that vision where, keep going. So that's a shout out.
I've been following her closely as well during this time. Plus, she has such a service heart with homeless.
Oh, definitely. So, another person that we both know, Suzanne Johns. And Suzanne Johns she's a business broker. She's a real estate broker, been in, done commercial real estate investing, things like that. But she's another person that provides a ton of humor that I love. And
she's funny.
She's also providing helpful information regarding the Forbearance Act, the Caring Act, the stimulus plan that's going on. Because listen, I don't know about you, but if you're not watching TV all day long, there's a lot of information that you need to know that's coming at you. But I'm not weeding through all of it.
Oh, she's a fine print reader, and then she's a fine print reader, and then she can decipher it for the rest of us.
That's what you are, Suzanne Johns, the fine print reader. That's what you are, and so we all need that.
I mean, but we like her and trust her.
I've never been one of those fine print readers. I never read the fine print. Now, I will say, if you're going to read the directions when you're putting stuff together, I do read all the directions. I'm going to say that. But here's some of the things Jeff Mudd said: working on a press release for the grand opening of my shower. That was one of his posts. One of his posts was I'm getting ready to write a Yelp review of my living room. I mean,
I like that.
You know, he's like, my promise to myself, when this is all over, I'm going to be like the workout montage from Rocky 3, you know? I mean, just silly stuff. I mean, I like to be entertained that way.
Let me tell you something. A friend of mine who lives in Philadelphia on my Facebook, he's been putting film of running those stairs.
That's
in Philly in front of the art museum.
You know,
it's amusing.
Hey, you know what? Listen, we have to give a shout out to Carrie Bernstein, founder of Passion Dallas, because she has been highlighting and showcasing leaders, passion leaders here in Dallas, and on her podcast.
Absolutely, and
shining a light on them.
Thank you to her for facilitating us.
Yes,
certainly today, but
always, right?
But always, she's a big supporter of us, and we're fortunate.
Okay, so another national person is Matthew McConaughey. I got to give a shout out to Mr. Lincoln Mercury. Matthew McConaughey, and he's really been keeping us sound and ground. He looks good.
You know, I feel grounded.
I like to look at him. Keep putting the videos out, Matthew. He's Texan. I mean, you know, what's not to love? We're Texans. But he really has provided calmness. And that's what I think we do, and that's our goal, is when you've got chaos, leaders provide that calmness. And I appreciate his calmness that he's been. And, you know, The Rock, too. We love you, The Rock. You know, I love Kevin Hart. You know, there are some. Let me tell you, I adore Kevin Hart and everything
his podcast
is about.
Is hilarious.
I love his podcast. I love you, Kevin Hart. I love your shows. I love your book. I love your story. I love your authenticity. But I appreciate, instead of these celebrities standing on a political soapbox, I don't like that. You know what I mean? I like it when you use your platform to provide positivity. And
that's what we need right now.
That's right. Everybody can believe what they want with regards to politics.
Agreed.
But this isn't about politics right now. This is about progress. This is about productivity. This is about pulling together. It's humankind, and it's not about politics.
You know, it's so true. I have to validate that 100%. And there are a lot of people in their homes doing things in grassroots way. We named people in our community. We've named some national figures, but there are people like my sister, who is a teacher, and she teaches at the college level, and she's trying to keep her classroom curriculum going as all the students have had to vacate campuses, and that's so sad.
Right.
And take learning inward from the college level all the way down to parents becoming educators at the grade school level.
Right.
I mean that's inspiring.
I know, and
I gotta tell you.
Well, when in preparing for the show, I made a list. You know, I made a list of our leaders in our community, list of people out, and that's on my list too. Is my sister.
That's right.
I have two sisters. I've got a younger and an older sister. I've got a younger sister that lives here in the Dallas area who has 3 kids. And day one of the quarantine after spring break, she sat down with her 3 kids. They're all 3 different ages. And she came up with a schedule, a home school schedule. And she had the kids weigh in, and she's got the schedule on a whiteboard. And she's got art, she's got creativity, she's got chores, she's got reading, she's got math. And I was so blown away and inspired by that. And so I have to say, Junie, hats off to you. You're doing an incredible job. And all of the parents that are homeschooling your kids, that are making lemonade out of lemons, who are being positive and really making sure the kids don't have that fear. I was really, really impressed by that. And I know that there are parents everywhere doing that.
Yeah, I know. It is really impressive. I want to bring up, we have some nonprofits in our community. I'm sure you have them in your communities as well, and on national levels. But I think about where it's really hard to be quarantined right now in a domestic situation that's not always safe or ideal. And we have,
that's a big point, Robin.
We have our Stronger Than Espresso, several of them, board members, or I should say staff members, are also members of eWomen Network, and they're in there rolling their sleeves up in a grassroots way to continue to make sure that women and children and families stay safe in a time like this where, I mean, if your life wasn't ideal at all going into this has added a whole extra really unsavory element and scary for many of them.
And I love
Your
it.
thoughts?
I love it that you brought that up, because there are still 501c3s that are in need of people to help serve. And of course, following all the safety rules and the government guidelines and everything like that. So if you're a person that has the ability to go serve in certain areas and in certain ways, this would be an opportunity that could bless so many people's lives. And when you serve, you always are blessed. You're always blessed. I mean, to me, that's where real fulfillment comes from, is the relationships you have with other people, the impact that you make on people's lives. You know, it's like when we do leave this earth, I don't think we're going to be sitting there, the review of our life, we're not going to be thinking about the accomplishments. We're going to be thinking about the lives that we touched and that we made better through, and the impact that we've made.
I agree with you. I think even at just the most grassroots level, our legacy is the people we've touched and the lives we've made a difference in.
Right,
for sure.
So another person or another group, I think that we got to say, congratulations to and a good job is truly the kids. Like I said, I work with the micro chicks. They're that teenage group, but they are doing their assignments. I mean, I don't know. First of all, if I was a parent of young kids right now, I don't think I would be doing as well as some of these parents with homeschooling. But I just want to say, that's why it didn't happen when my kids were young. But I want to say, great job for all the kids that are doing the work, that are going online. They're getting their assignments and they're doing their assignments. It blows me away. I meet once a week with the micro chicks, and they're doing their singing lessons, they're doing their schoolwork, they're going online, they're doing all their projects. I was on virtually with them last Wednesday, and they said, we've got an assignment, got this big project and we've got to get this done. And I mean, they're doing it. And, I don't know if we would have been doing that, Robin. I think we might have been trying to sneak out of the house. And
I don't know. I skipped a lot of school.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think we'd be doing our schoolwork.
I think I majored in sorority life in college.
Right. I mean, honestly.
I'm just keeping it real.
But I'll tell you another person and I'm going to put some clips in our impact page, but Wayne Dyer is phenomenal. But Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton, he actually has a couple of videos that he has made, and it talks about really what happens with the virus. It talks about what really happens with you and your immune system. The big, in my opinion, this is my opinion, the big lesson that we should be preaching and teaching and implementing into our daily lives is stay healthy and keep your immune system strong. And he really talks about what fear does and what negativity does and what stress does to the immune system, and how when you're fear and stressed, you don't even think straight. You make decisions and you do things that are wacky. So I got to say a big shout out for him, Dr. Bruce Lipton. Oh, Joe Dispenza. That's the other one. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Hey, but that was a really good lead in to the obvious gratitude that we have for our healthcare workers right now across the globe, who are definitely going in every day and trying to make that lemonade out of lemons and healing and putting themselves directly on the front lines. I mean, I know that this has been referred to as a war to a degree, and an enemy that we can't see. And if that's the case, the healthcare workers are for sure our frontline soldiers and militia out there every day taking care of sick people and putting themselves in harm's way.
Right.
And that's amazing.
Right. And, I know that there are certain areas in the world and certain areas in the United States, obviously, that are being hit harder than others. And that reality in those cities is completely different than the reality that we even have here in Dallas, even though I know we've got Dallas and North Dallas and, so yes.
Or Miami,
right.
or New Orleans.
Right, New Orleans. I mean, so I think that there's the power of prayer. So, it's like, okay, so now what can we do now? What can we do now? Number one, I'm a big believer in prayer. And there is power in prayer. In fact, here's my own philosophy. I don't know if it's right for me, okay? But my own philosophy is every situation, there's a certain number of prayers that have to be made on behalf of whatever is the issue. And so when I've got an issue, I'm just praying. I'm like, is it 5 prayers? Is it 10 prayers? Is it 1,000,000 prayers? How many prayers is needed before a change happens? And so I'm a big believer in the power of prayer. So that's definitely one thing. Personally, I think that we can do. What do you think is another thing that we can do?
I mean, obviously, prayer is also a version of just a conscious manifesting into the universe. And we certainly never can have a loss for that. That's for sure. I think supporting do-good organizations right now. And if you aren't able to be out and about volunteering your time, many of us cannot do that. We can certainly donate and support. Nordstrom closed all their stores. And I'm sorry, I have a delay in my headset. I'm so sorry. And their seamstress departments at their key hub stores are working by themselves, making masks, and their goal right now is to make 100,000 masks for our United States healthcare workers, which understandably we would be at a shortage for supplies during it, and maybe not in our city yet,
right?
And pray never. Say those million. Maybe it's 1,000,000 gens.
Right,
we'll just say them.
I know.
but that doesn't negate New York's certain and dire need,
right,
for those 1,000,000 prayers. I mean, what an inspiring vision it was. Did you see the snap of the USS Comfort coming by the Statue of Liberty yesterday?
It was awesome.
That was
and
lovely.
Of course, in times of need like this, it really does. It brings the best out in people, and it also brings the worst out in people. It really does.
Yeah.
And
sad.
And I think another thing that we can do personally is we can work on ourselves. We can improve ourselves. We can develop ourselves. If you are not a reader, start reading some great books. If you don't write down gratitude, start writing down some great gratitudes. If you don't have a practice of waking up every morning and saying, I want to make a positive impact on this world, start to do that. There's a lot of things that we can do to improve ourselves. And if you improve yourself, as we know, because both Robin and I are very committed to personal development, but if we improve ourselves, we improve our marriage, we improve every relationship that we're in, we improve our relationships with our children, we improve the impact, the positive impact that we can have on our community and the world and people's lives.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And then sharing what we're doing. I had some really great meditations shared with me. Okay.
Yes.
Now it's a great time. I wasn't a big meditator. I did sometimes. I wouldn't say it would be a practice for me by a stretch,
Right.
Jens. I mean, but that said, bring it on. Share with me. Forward me what you're meditating to and how you're doing it and how it's impacting your life. What books are you reading?
Right.
Who are you talking to? What podcasts are you listening to?
Yes.
Like, let's share that.
I love that. That's another thing that we can all do that will be huge. Share what you're doing that's making a positive impact on your life. Ask yourself the question, what do I need to do right now to make my life better? And then you're going to have to make a plan. Obviously, you're going to have to write some goals down. You're going to have to be accountable to people. And if you don't have anyone to be accountable, let us. We'll be happy to help you be accountable to what that is. And I know Leslie and Chantel, they're sharing some really great things. And one of the things Leslie said is, this is Jim Rohn, the same wind blows on all of us. What determines our destination is the set of our sail. And I think that's a great way to really end this is, how are you setting your sail?
Agreed.
And during these times, we want you to know that we're here for you and that we're all here for one another. This will make us better. This will make us stronger. And our hope and prayer is that as we go through this together, that, like Robin said, that we do share with one another, that we have a commitment, a lifetime commitment to not just make our lives better, but make the world better and have a deeper impact. So until we meet again, be big, be bold, and most importantly, be you. Bye-bye. Subscribe to our YouTube or iTunes channel so you never miss an episode, or visit our website, theimpactdallas.com, to connect with us more.